Yes, guys, welcome back to the Midnight Show. Hope everyone's doing well. Thank you guys for joining me this evening. Guys, we're going to talk about Liverpool's forwards. It's a hot topic at the moment. Mo Salah contract coming to an end, maybe. Cody Gakpo getting all kinds of abuse. Luis Diaz, is he good enough? Darwin Nunez. Yeah, and Diogo Jota came back from injury. So we've got a load to talk about. We've got Luke with me. How you doing, Luke?
Not too bad. Not too bad.
Good man. Well, as many of you know, we just done the stream on Cal's channel, so Cal will be coming over for a little bit as well. But yeah, we've got loads to talk about with the Liverpool strike. There's obviously news breaking this evening as well. Is that apparently Richard Hughes will be
Yep.
confirmed as a new sporting director in the next 24 hours. News that we were pretty sure what was going to happen, with Michael Edwards coming back. While we talk about it, let's just quickly talk about this, Luke. Like the Richard Hughes stuff. Are you happy with him being sporting director?
I didn't really know a lot about him when he was linked to us. I would have preferred if Xavi Alonso is the guy that comes in. I would have wanted to have the West Ham sporting director just because that there is a relationship between the two. But I did do a bit of digging and did find out that the Bournemouth manager that's hired's got the same agent as
Yeah,
Xavi Alonso, the one that Richard Hughes hired.
yeah,
And when you're looking through like his business, okay, considering it's the size of Bournemouth, did good business for Bournemouth on the whole. I know we mugged them off a couple of times, but I didn't think he was the main guy in charge of the transfers when we mugged them off like Jordan Ibe, Brad Smith. Was it Dom Solanke? I don't know whether or not he was the sporting director when we mugged them off for those signings, but yeah, he's made good signings for Bournemouth. Now, how does he translate that when he goes to Liverpool? Budget's going to be bigger. There's going to be more pressure. Like you're not going to get away with some of the duds that were signed at Bournemouth at Liverpool because the fan base is going to be on you straight away. Like I know there's going to be people that are going to be skeptical, saying this isn't the right move, but this is Edwards. This is Edwards' guy. So I'm going to trust Michael Edwards to know what he's doing with this.
yeah. I mean, no one knew who Michael Edwards was when he was sporting director at Liverpool, and look at the job he did. So with Rich Hughes, apparently Rich Hughes is multilingual as well. He speaks many languages.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, he's got he knows everyone. Apparently, like everyone says, he knows a lot of people. He's got a lot of contacts. So it could be better than we give him credit for. I mean, he did a good job at Bournemouth.
Yeah.
He's, as you say, he's only got a limit to what he can do at Bournemouth, and he'll have a bigger purse at Liverpool, and more people to look at. There'd be players at Liverpool that he'd probably might have wanted to try and get a Bournemouth, but couldn't. So
Yep.
yeah, I'm all right with it because it's not Richard Hughes on his own; it's Mark Edwards with him, ain't it? So
Apparently, Richard
and
Hughes is like the negotiator.
yeah, and the go have like I think Hunter's still there.
Will
Is it
Spearman's
Will
still there as
Spearman
well.
still there? And is it Ian Dennis? Ian Graham? Is it Ian Dennis?
I
That they're
don't
trying to
know
bring back as
what's
well.
going to
So
happen with Ian Graham, whether or not he's going to
Ian Graham is it?
still be running that company that Michael Edwards is stepping down from.
Yeah, he's stepping down from it, but he still has a share in it or something like that.
Mm.
So yeah, it's interesting, man. It's interesting. Look, Liverpool. I've got a video coming out this week as well. It looks like FSG are trying to run the club in a professional manner now. Now Jurgen Klopp's leaving. So a bit of conspiracy talk around there, which we'll talk about sometime soon. Also, guys, I will be doing that 12-hour stream not too far away. So look out for that as well. But look, Liverpool forwards, man. Liverpool forwards. It's a subject on everyone's,
Touchy.
certain players in Liverpool's forward line. Right. We're going to talk about Cody Gakpo. We're going to talk about Cody Gakpo first. And look, Cody has been coming in for quite a bit of abuse recently in the fan base. And I've said it myself. I think it's perfectly fine for fans to criticise his performances. I don't think there's a problem with that. But do you feel like it's going a bit over the top, Luke, on the Cody Gakpo stuff?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit, just a little bit, because I do believe his cameo on the weekend was nothing short of was horrendous. You might as well not have played him at all because he was that bad. I do believe some form of his inconsistent form has been the fact that we've not managed to fit him in his best position, which for me is left wing. It's not number 8.
Yeah.
It's not a right winger, which we saw against Arsenal away how good he was at right wing. And let me tell you, he was not good because Jurgen was shouting at him. I've never seen Jurgen so much have a go at a player for not knowing what their position is as much as him and Gravenberch in that game. But I do feel for him because he's basically like a utility man. He hasn't got a nailed down position, and for me at the moment he should be starting left wing for me because his best performances this season has been from the left wing. But I do believe people's criticism of him that he ghosts too much in games is a valid criticism. Like, obviously, I wouldn't complain if he ghosts if he's scoring every chance he gets, but even that clinical nature of him that has disappeared with his lack of confidence. Because I do believe he is completely out of confidence. That's why his performances are so poor off the bench. Because I just don't think that he believes in his ability at the moment because he's being shunned around in every position but the position where he excelled at PSV, which is left wing. Not as a 8, not as a winger, not even as a false 9, but not gonna lie. I don't like him at the false 9. He's not strong enough on the ball. Like, how can you be 6'4" and be weak as piss?
Yeah.
Like, how?
No, it's a good shout. And do you know the mad thing is with Cody Gakpo? Yeah, I've been looking at the stats, so I've got all the stats up, and Cody Gakpo has been in 43 squads this season, right? And he's made 42 appearances in all competitions this season. The only other forward who's played the same amount of games as Cody Gakpo this season in all competitions is Darwin Nunez, which shocked me. He's had 42 appearances this season, Cody Gakpo.
Which makes
Now,
sense considering Salah's been out injured and
yeah, obviously Darwin has had more starts than Cody, but Cody's made a lot of appearances this season. And I always think he's a confidence player when you look at him. You know, Darwin, he's got his own confidence and he's got his own thing going on. But when I look at Cody, I'm shocked that he's played 42 games because I don't know about you, Luke, but it doesn't feel like he's played 42 games this season, does it?
no, because I think it's because of his nature to ghost games. You don't really think, oh, he's actually played that game, sort of thing. Because of the way he is, he barely touches the ball, and when he does touch the ball, he's easily barged off the ball. Like he's ghosted through a few, like quite a few games that you forget he's even on the pitch.
Yeah.
And I believe that's why people go, oh crap, Gakpo's played 42 out of 43 games because of that. That's definitely more than I thought.
And
More than I thought.
so so I'm going to get to all the forwards in this video, but we'll start with Cody, and because he's the subject of quite a lot of debate at the moment. Obviously, he's 24 years of age.
Mm.
Him and Darwin are the youngest of the forwards. He's played 42 games in all competitions. He's got 13 goals.
Mm.
He's got 13 goals this season in 42 appearances. He's not a regular starter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cody is obviously our fifth choice forward.
Yeah.
He's 13 goals in all competitions this season as your fifth choice forward actually that bad?
when you're looking on it purely based on numbers, it's good numbers. But you need to break down where those goals have been scored in. Have they been winners? Have they just been a fourth goal at an end of a thrashing? Have they just been pointless goals? Have they been in the Europa League? Have they been in the Premier League? Have they been in the cups? Like, obviously, he scored about 5 of them in the Carabao Cup.
Well,
Like,
I
the
can
only
give you
round
the
he didn't
details here. In the Premier League, Cody's only got 5 goals.
Is that how many?
Premier League appearances this season, he has made 14 Premier League appearances, it says here.
14?
Well, yeah.
He has been out injured for a bit. But you need to break down how many of them have he's actually...
Oh, hang
Is
on.
it
No, he's made 27 appearances.
27
No, that can't
appearances,
be right.
5 goals, did you say?
Yeah. 27 appearances, 12 starting, 14 on the bench. So he's only
Look at that,
started 12
5
Premier League
goals.
games. He's only started 12 Premier League games as Cody Gakpo this
Yes.
season.
So if you look at that 12 starts, 5 goals, you're thinking, yeah, looks great, but most of those games, has he played in his best position? Has he played as a left winger? I'd be shocked if any. I know one start definitely off the top of my head, and he played left wing, was Burnley away, which I thought he played very well in. The others that he's been basically shunned around every position. So yes, the numbers look good on paper, but when you look at performances haven't really been up to the standard that we would have expected of him. But with the caveat that he has been basically shunned around pretty much every forward position and pretty much every midfield position as well, apart from like DM.
This is Cody's breakdown. This is Premier League only. So Premier League only. He's had 12 Premier League starts and 14 off the bench. He's got 5 goals, 3 assists, and aerial duels 1, considering he's 6'4", is 0.8. Right?
That's poor.
The only one who's got, there's 2 people that have got more aerial duels 1 than him. Do you know who they are? And they're strikers.
Oh.
We're only talking strikers here.
Are they really obvious? What, in Liverpool or in the Premier League?
In Liverpool, yeah. Liverpool's forwards.
Jota.
Yeah, 0.9.
And I'd go Salah.
Nah, Darwin Nunez.
Oh.
Darwin Nunez has won more aerial duels as a forward than any other forward in our team. Mo Salah has the less. Mo Salah's is 0.2.
All right, okay, right.
Yeah, so Cody Gakpo is 5th choice. It makes, if you look at the stats, it proofs in the pudding. 12 starts in the Premier League only and 14 off the bench. 5 goals, 3 assists. He's got an average match rating of 6.6, which is the lowest of all our forwards. So when we're thinking about it, he's obviously 5th choice.
Yeah.
Klopp has made the stats prove that he's 5th choice.
Yeah.
Is it really all that bad? How many 5th choice forwards in other teams have got stats like Cody?
Yeah, true. But it's just trying to think because of the era that we're in, people just look at stats and go, "Oh, look, this guy's got this many stats," and so obviously he must be good if he's putting up these numbers. But when you're looking at his overall performance hasn't really been good enough, like as a whole. Like it hasn't been anything where I've gone, yeah, Gakpo has to start. It's like, yeah, Gakpo can come off the bench. And Katie's right. We did pay a decent chunk of change. Like, I don't know whether or not 40 million is now the new 20 million because of the money in football. But he he has cost a decent chunk of change, and like I would have expected him to kick on a little bit, but I think even Klopp doesn't particularly like rate. I wouldn't say he doesn't rate him because he plays him, but it doesn't rate him in his best position because he would have been playing there above Luis Diaz, or he would have played there above Darwin Nunez when he's been shunted out to the left wing. And the fact is that he just plugs and plays him wherever just shows that he probably doesn't really. Just, he's such a tricky one because he's such a. I don't know. He's such an odd player. He's just an
He is, and
odd player.
Ernie says it here, it's true. The thing we're judging Gakpo on is he's the only forward in our team that don't always play as a forward.
Yeah.
And that's what we've got to give him a bit of the benefit of the doubt for.
Mm.
You know, I'm going to have a little bit on Luis Diaz in a bit, and people ain't going to like it. But Luis Diaz just plays as a forward, a left winger. He's a forward in our team. Doesn't really play anywhere else. And Gakpo's playing like Gakpo has played 3 games in the number 8 position in the Premier League this season. He's come on and been in like it's. I feel bad for him in a way. I don't think he's as bad as people think he is. He's
No,
not
I don't
showing
think
what
there's a
he's
player there.
worth. He's not showing his worth at the moment, but I don't think it's all his fault. But look, let's talk about Darwin bloody Nunez. So
I was about to say your favourite player, Diaz.
Darwin Nunez, but we'll get to the Diaz stuff, don't worry. The Darwin Nunez, 24, obviously the same age as Cody Gakpo, the 2 youngest forwards in our team. He's made 43 appearances this season.
Mm-hmm.
Only Luis Diaz has played more games, but with 44 out of all the forwards. 42 of them have been appearances. So he's had 43 match day squads and 42 appearances. Sorry. He has got 17 goals in all competitions. 17 goals in all comps. He only needs 3 more to have a 20 goal season, a 20 season thing. So not too bad for Darwin in all comps. But if you go to his Premier League record, Darwin Nunez in the Premier League has played 17 Premier League games he started, 9 as a sub. So he started 17 Premier League games and he's come on 9 times as a sub. So he's played quite a chunk of football so far this season. He has 10 goals in the Premier League, 7 assists. And as I said, aerial duels 1, he has the most. What are we taking on Darwin Nunez this season? I mean, his stats are pretty good in all comps. He's only 3 away from 20. He's got, I believe, 12 assists in all competitions as well. If you look at Premier League, he's an all-action forward. It says it here, 17 matches started, 9 as a substitution, 10 goals, 7 assists. So he's all action. What are we saying on Darwin this season?
He's definitely massively improved from last season because let's be honest, last season I was not as big as fan. I was not as big as fan. The chaos thing, yeah, that worked great, but when you're a centre forward for Liverpool, you need to be putting the ball in the back of the net. And yes, he did that so last season, but I was like, this season is the season where he's needed to step up. And as a whole, he has massively improved on last season. However, his composure in front of goal at times still needs refining. Still needs that fine tuning because he gets himself in brilliant positions. Brilliant positions. My mind is the Europa League game where he goes through, rounds the goalkeeper, just a simple finish bottom corner, and he lashes it when he didn't need to, and it hit the post. And luckily, Gravenberch, tapped it in and basically saved his blushes. I still think there is more levels for him to go. I don't believe that this is the best version of him. I'll be so interested to see how the next manager unlocks that other level from him, because he has improved, and I do expect him to take that leap, because I believe that Darwin's probably gonna finish in about. So he said he's on 17. I'd probably expect him in all comps to probably get about 25, 26 goals and about 16 assists, which would look unreal compared to last season. But we know there are still levels to go. His touch needs a bit of work on. His composure in front of goal. I do believe that he still rushes everything when he gets in front of goal. Needs to lash it when he sometimes it's just taking that touch to then slot it in. Just needs that touch to slot it in for me. But yeah, it's massively improved from last season. And if he does even end up with, like, let's say if he ends up on 25 goals, that's still a great season. But when you come in for like, how much was he? 65 million, plus we've added, we've paid a few bonuses on it as well. So I believe
It's up
it's
to
more
72,
close to
I
about
think, yeah.
72. When you come
Yeah.
in for big money, there is a standard straight off the bat of where you need to get to. And if he, reaches the target, which I think he'll get to, 15, 16 assists, 26 goals, then I reckon that will be his base level going forward, because that's the base level for that money
Yeah.
that we paid for him, is about 25 goals for Nunez.
Man, I agree. Big up, Cal.
Big up, brothers.
Yeah, I was just we started with Cody because he's the one who
I've been
wants to
listening. I've been listening.
Yeah, we're looking at his stats. I don't know what you thought of his stats as a fifth choice striker when you look at
Look
them.
at your face. I can tell you
Because
already.
the thing with Cody, as I said as well, we've mentioned it plenty of times, he doesn't have a nailed down position in our team. He plays a bit everywhere. As a fifth choice forward, when you look at his stats, if you count him as a fifth choice forward, I don't think his stats are actually that bad as a fifth choice forward.
As a fifth choice, you're right. And this is where I'm going to probably sound like a sport brat. I don't like the idea of third, fourth, fifth, and sixth choice, because I think each of the forwards have their own individual battle. So I don't look at Jota or Diaz and Nunez and be like, oh, they're second or first. I look at it as Jota versus Nunez for the number 9 position. Who's the best for that position? Diaz versus Gakpo for left wing, and then Salah versus whoever for the right wing. Because effectively, that's what we should be looking at. We don't. In my opinion, I don't think we have a third. I don't think we have a third or fourth choice centre back. It's whoever is in form is playing. I wouldn't say Kanate or Matip were third or second choice. It was Virgil was always the starter of left centre back, and then it was who fits the game for right centre back. Is it Kwanzaa? Is it Kanate? Is it Matip? The issue with Gakpo, his stats are good. He's almost the opposite of what Nunez was last season. Nunez's stats weren't great last season, but the eye test showed that he could become a great player. The stats for Gakpo look good this season, but when you watch him play, you're left a little bit underwhelmed. And the other thing I kind of get frustrated with the whole Gakpo thing, and I hate to do this, and I don't even want to do it, but I'm just going to be completely honest. We can't necessarily compare our forwards in terms of goals scored and stuff to your Arsenal, your Man City, because the Champions League is a harder caliber of competition to score in than the Europa League. And I look at some of the teams we played in Europa so far this season. Arsenal and Man City would smash those teams as well. So I'm never going to take away the goals or discredit the goals, but I do think context has to be added. The Europa League especially in the group stage, is a far easier competition than Champions League in the group stage. And those guys, they filled their pockets in Europa. And I heard you guys speaking about goals scored in the Prem. that for me should be the bread and butter. It's goals in the Prem, goals in the Champions League. Because again, never gonna diminish the goal score in Europa, or else we wouldn't be at this point in Europa. Like I would never diminish Origi and Minamino's goals when we won the Carabao and FA Cup. But ultimately, the Premier League and the Champions League are the two hardest competitions to score goals in. And in the Prem, it's only really been Salah and Jota and Nunez to an extent really doing the business there.
Yeah. Like, I think Gakpo. I do feel for him because out of all the forwards, he's the one I feel like he's not used properly. Out of all the forwards, I think we can all, sort of agree with that. He's used here, there, and everywhere, and I think he's a good footballer. I just don't know if Premier League football suits him as a player, and that's not a problem. We've seen people come to the leagues, all different leagues, and they can't produce for whatever reason it is. But Cody, I think I would persist with him because I'd like to see what he does under a new manager personally.
So interesting to see if Alonso does come in and wants to play with the 2 10s behind the striker, if Gakpo fits as one of those 10s.
Yeah,
Would he be a start for you guys as one of the 2 10s?
No.
So he's not going to be a start. No. So is he going to? Because I think the thing with Gakpo is he needs a run of games. Like I don't think he's a player that can. I look at Nunez and I think Nunez could not play for 3 games. He could come in and he's still going to hit the ground running. He may still have your brain fart moments where he misses 1-on-1s or sitters, but he's still going to be a problem and a handful. I don't know if I could say the same about Cody Gakpo. I don't know if he's able to do that. And that's not me trying to shade him. There are rhythm players. He's, for me, a rhythm player. I just don't know if he'll get that rhythm at Liverpool.
Yeah, I personally don't know why we bought Cody Gakpo because he hasn't got a position in the team where he should play, and we don't usually buy players unless we know exactly where they're going to play.
He was missing link, apparently. He said he was the missing link.
I think Pep Linders likes him. I don't think Klopp does. I think that's the difference.
I think Linders loves Gakpo.
Yeah, I think Pep loves him. If Pep Linders was managing next season, I think Cody Gakpo plays where he should play.
I don't know whether or not you heard, right? Apparently, they said on TalkSport, so take it with a pinch of salt, right? that the players really wanted Pep Linders to be the manager next season.
I think they honestly did.
Yeah, and I can see why.
Big shock when Shabby comes in and goes, "Hey, you're out of here."
So I don't think Xabi Alonso would do that. And the reason I say that, I look at someone like Pep. When Pep first came to Man City, if I'm not mistaken, it was only really Joe Hart from the senior players that he actually said, "Look, you're not gonna get game time, so it might be."
He treated Joe Hart like shit.
Yeah, he treated him like crap. But the others, remember, he still had Gael Clichy, Sagna, and all these players. Like he held on to those players for one season, but after that season, it was completely cutthroat. I think Alonso may do something similar because to have so much change in one summer is a big risk. Just look at Chelsea.
Okay, just a quick question. Okay, let's say he comes in and does it with that player. Who do you think's the player he's going to do that to? I think it should be Andy Robertson.
Yeah, it could be Robbo.
Yeah.
Big similar name.
Can I ask you guys a question? Say, for example, we do sign a new left back. Let's say it's either Anthony Robinson or it's Ait Nouri.
I hope it's him. Yeah.
I mean, I spoke about Ait Nouri a while ago.
You've been talking about him. I don't believe he's 22, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah. But let's say it's one of those.
Serious.
Would you guys keep Robbo or Tsimikas as the backup? Or would you say Owen Beck can be the backup and we can sell both of them?
I would sell them both, and it'll be Luke Chambers as the backup because it's the guy that Xabi Alonso has wanted at Leverkusen. So it's the guy that he rates.
You guys are savage.
Hey, Edwards is in charge now. Edwards, the guy with no emotion.
Yeah.
I think if Klopp stayed, these youth players would have more of a chance. I think if Alonso comes in next summer or any other manager, a young manager, I don't think you see many of these youth boys. Really don't.
Fair dues.
I really don't, because a young manager's going to want his own players, do it his own way. And he ain't going to try. Like, Klopp can rely on youth now because how long he's been at the club. They're his boys. You know, Bobby Clark is his boy. Do you know what I mean? It's. I just don't feel like it. I don't feel Alonso would do it. I fear for the youngsters next season. I ain't gonna lie. I fear for the youngsters next season. But look, Cody Gakpo, I feel for him. I ain't gonna lie. I do feel for him.
I do.
But we're talking about Darwin Nunez there as well. Look, Darwin Nunez, 17 goals in all competitions this season. He's played 42 games in all comps. In the Premier League, he started 17 games and 9 as a substitution. He's scored 10 goals. He's assisted 7. And he has the best aerial duel winning out of all the forwards in our team. Is Darwin improving, Cal?
Oh, absolutely. I don't think there's even a question there. And this is coming from me. Everyone knows I didn't hide my feelings when we signed Darwin. I didn't think he was the gunman that everyone says he is. I'll be honest, I still don't think he is the gunman everyone says he is. I think that gunman is Jota. I'll be honest, I'm very happy with Darwin Nunez and Jota being our 2 strikers. Could we improve on them? Yeah, I mean, you've got Harry Kane, who is out there, who's, in my opinion, the best striker in the world. Are we going to get Harry Kane? No. I'm a big Isak fan. Jamie, look away now. But we're never going to get Isak either.
Like, Darwin's better than Isak. I ain't gonna lie.
I don't.
I think Isak's a better finisher. He's more clinical.
I think he's more refined.
Isak goes too many games for me.
I think Isak goes for Newcastle. I think if Isak's in a Liverpool team, he cooks. But here's the thing. I wouldn't want to sell Nunez to bring in Isak. I'd want them both in the squad, because I think if Isak's there, then you've got Isak and Jota who compete for the number 9, and then you've got Nunez and someone else compete for the left wing.
Isak.
Yeah, it's.
But we're never going to sign Isak. So for me, Nunez and Jota work perfectly as our 2 strikers. One, because Jota's more clinical. Jota's a better footballer, but Jota picks up injuries. Nunez, touch wood, has shown he's very robust and he's good enough when Jota's not there. He's more than good enough when Jota's not there, let's be real. But he's just, or should I say, I've got to live with the fact that no matter what, we're going to see Darwin miss chances we shouldn't see him miss. But then we're also going to see him score goals he has no right to score as well. So
yeah, he's that player. That's why I love him a bit. Big up Dex for a super chat. He says Gakpo starting Alonso's team instead of Darwin.
Nope.
Don't see it.
Darwin up
I don't know. It's got next season's very interesting. I can't lie.
Actually, bro, I just complimented Darwin loads. Like, how am I Darwin hater? Like, actually, bro. And Jota's better. I don't look again. No disrespect to Darwin. I don't think anyone can really debate whether Jota's a better striker than Darwin Nunez at this point. Like, I think Jota's kind of shown who he is.
Yeah. Well, look. Let's get the Jota in. Jota's stats are quite mad, to be fair. So, obviously, 27 years of age. He's had 28 starts in all competitions. He's got 14 goals, which is not bad. Premier League wise, Jota has only started 13 Premier League games this season, and he's had 6 substitute appearances. So he's only played he's only had 19 Premier League games in all. That's all he's had. 19 Premier League games, 13 of them as a starter, 6 as a substitute. Out of 13 starts, he's got 9 goals. It's
gunman.
Like, I think I've just been.
It's not bad, man. He's got 3 assists as well, you know. And only Darwin Nunez has got more aerial duels won than Diogo Jota as a forward. That's Jota's different, man. Jota's absolutely different. Luke, talk to me about Jota, man. Talk to me about Jota. He's different.
One word to say about him: different gravy. That's what Jota is. Different gravy. A guy that you can rely on. But let's not get it twisted. He does, miss his fair share of absolute sitters as well. So he is also not immune to the I like to miss a sitter as well. But when especially this season, he has become ice cold. When he gets in front of goal, I am very confident now that he's going to slot it in. My only issue, the only concern is that injury record of his.
Yeah.
The only issue of that injury record. Okay, let's be honest here. If Jota's been fit when Salah has been out injured or at AFCON, we're through in the FA Cup and we're clear at the top of the league. Because he scores some of the chances that we've berated a certain Colombian and we berate the opportunity that was missed on Sunday.
Oh, Jota played against City. We win that game, by the way.
We smoke them. If Jota plays in the Arsenal game at the Emirates, I think we beat them as well.
I think we get away with the draw.
Cal, if we could do what we used to do back in Pro Evo back in the day and just make he's never injured, when you make that thing where they just play consistently. Yeah. If Jota had Mo's injury record, what would Jota's goal contributions look like?
I think there's an argument to say the only person who get more goals than him in a season is Haaland.
Because if you look at his goals to game ratio at Liverpool, it's really crazy. Good. It's really good.
I can't like Jay and Luke, you're absolutely spot on. Like Jota has missed his fair share of chances where you're like, bro, what are you doing? But I look at him and I'm like, okay, if it falls on his left foot, I'm like, I trust him. If it falls on his right foot, I trust him. If the ball's in the air, I trust him. There's not a finish I don't trust him with. He can round the goalkeeper, he can drill it, he can place it, he can smash the ball, like he can. In terms of
dribbling's gotten better this season. Like when he's driving to the middle, his dribbling has gotten.
Yeah. His
better.
goals in the Europa, and again, I'm going to sound like a hypocrite, but you think of the goal against Toulouse in the Europa, and I think I can't remember, it might have been against Union SG, where he's just taken the ball, he's beaten about 3 men, and a composure at the end of it, he slotted it away. He's the only striker that does that.
I'll give you more than that. Do you remember when he had that hat trick against Atalanta back in the day?
Oh, bro.
That hat trick was elite. It goes so unremembered because it was COVID, wasn't it? But that people went to the stadium, so no one watches them seasons. No one watches them seasons back. It's like no one watches the WrestleMania with no crowd. You know what I mean? That never exists. Now no one watches these things back, and that hat trick against Atalanta was amazing. The movement he had, the way he dribbled past people, dropped the shoulder, the finishing. Do you remember that when he got it? He controlled it on the left, bounced it, shot on the right.
Yeah,
he's a superb footballer. Absolutely superb footballer.
He reminds me so much of Fowler. He really does remind me of Fowler.
You don't know what foot he is when he shoots. He's strong on both. He's great in the air. Fantastic.
And he just seems to make the right decision more than making the wrong decision. I think that's the issue I've got with the forwards, apart from Salah and Jota. The others seem to make the wrong decision a lot of the time.
Yeah, I agree. So in all comps, he's had 28 appearances. They're not all starts, they're just appearances, and 14 goals. So he's one in 1.5 basically, almost one in two.
Like
and he's not an I wouldn't call him an out-and-out striker either.
Was that just goals or was that GA?
That's just goals. It's just goals.
What do you know? What's his? How many assists?
Assists. It's not really 4 assists. I will say that with him, but that's not his game. His game is about putting the ball in the back of the net, ain't it? That's his game.
Me personally, we have 3 attackers who are safe, and that is Nunez, Jota, and Salah. The other two, I wouldn't say they're
Yeah,
safe.
I'll go get to them when they
If
go
an
get
offer
that one,
came
then-
in, let me tell you, Jamie will be getting the petrol ready, the diesel
Yeah,
ready. Hey.
I don't know about petrol. There's a crisis at the moment. I might go diesel. You know what I mean? It goes a little longer. But no, look, I think Jota's superb. My only problem with Jota is injuries. Look, his last injury weren't his fault. It was just unlucky. He didn't he's laying on the floor and a 14-stone man lands on his knee. It couldn't happen to anyone else but Jota, could it?
yeah.
And the fact
It's
is
just
that
not
he
his
is
fault,
back
man.
running already.
Yeah, he's running.
in
He's
international
in
break.
training. He'll probably be in full training after the international break. So I think Jota will be in the squad for the Man United game.
I bloody hope so.
I think he'll be in the squad for the Sheffield United game,
In the midweek.
and I reckon he'll start
Jota
against
being back
United.
is massive.
Can I throw a curveball though, guys? And this is where Edwards might just do a mad one. Luke, I think you asked a question on who could be the player that could get that treatment. Because of Jota's injury record, Edwards could look at it and go, "You're sick, but you're not available enough for my liking." And he might go, "I'm going to move you on and get someone younger in."
He could do. Yeah, that is a possibility.
I
That
hope
is a
not.
possibility.
I
But
hope
then he
not.
was at Anfield watching Diaz and Gakpo the other day, and I think that's
Hey, Edwards probably got on the blower. She's like, right, got some contacts here. Yeah.
Right, I'm gonna leave a certain Colombian to last. Yeah.
Oh, come on, I've got to go to bed in a minute.
All right, let's go. All right, because Mo's Mo. Look, let me just give you Mo's stats a minute. Yeah, let me give you Mo's stats a minute.
Sell Mo
Mo's
Salah,
played-
by the way. I'm joking.
Yeah,
Mo,
Mo excited, see you later.
Mo has been in 32 match day squads, and obviously he's made 32 appearances this summer. So he's only played 32 games in all competitions, Mo Salah, this season, and he's got 21 goals. That's different.
Oh goodness!
And that's not even a striker.
And he's not even at his best this season. That's the kid.
No.
He's not even playing at his best.
That's just mad, ain't it? So I'll say that again. 32 appearances this season in all comps, guys, and 21 goals.
I bet you he's got over 10 assists as well.
Let me get to his assists. Right. Premier League.
But he's
So
better
in the
than
Premier
certain
League,
wingers.
look,
apparently.
this stat's even more mad. So in the Premier League, Mo Salah's only started 20 games this season in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Right. And he's had 2 substitute appearances. So he's only played 22 games in the Premier League this season. He's got 15 goals.
Ugh.
He's got 15 goals
apparently
in
certain
22
wingers-
Premier League appearances. That's
But apparently,
stupid.
if you ask some certain fans, apparently certain right wingers better than Salah. Apparently, but
That's
right.
Salah has got more GA than he has games this season.
Oh, leave it out, man. This is what I'm saying. Like, when people are saying you can't turn down the money for Salah because...
Sorry, Cal. He's got 9 Premier League assists as well.
Oh, leave it, man. It's done.
it's a wrap.
Leave it. It's done. Leave him. Just leave him alone, man. Leave him alone. On a real, at this point, just leave him alone.
But people
How
don't
dare
rate
anyone?
him. People don't rate him. So in the Premier League, hang on, Mo Salah
One
has
season, one
got 24 GA in 22 games.
Yeah, leave him alone, man.
It's different. He's a right winger. That it's just, it's different, ain't it? He's not just scoring his assists, and we've seen his assists. You know, they're not just simple 3-yard balls. The
Yeah,
quality.
he's bending around the field. Like, first assist of the season for Diaz was a crazy assist.
Yeah. The assist that should have counted at Tottenham. Was that his pass? Was that his pass?
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
Diaz? He was, wasn't it?
yeah, it was.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that. goal.
Again, not even to shade anyone. The assist he could have had for Nunez and Diaz as well this season.
Look, if
The
people
City,
actually
yeah.
put their chances away, I think most Salah's sitting on 16 assists easy. I think he would probably. Mo Salah's only made 2 appearances since January the 1st,
He's got a goal and an assist.
and he's got a goal. And it's I don't know what more there is to say about Mo Salah. I really don't. I really don't. But look,
I think we're almost spoiled as a fan base. I don't think we realise what we actually have with Salah.
no, he's going to be like Van Gogh. No one thought Van Gogh was any good as an artist till he died.
Yeah, like
And it's going to be the same with Mo. When Mo leaves Liverpool, we're all going
Yeah.
to sit down and everyone's going to sit down for him. Shit, he was really good. Like proper good. He's 7 consecutive seasons he scored 20 plus goals.
What are we doing there?
I know Tottenham fans the other day tried to bring up Son as exactly the same, which is not true because
Son's
got 12
quality,
goals.
but he's no Salah.
Son's quality, but he only got 12 goals last season. So
Yeah, he's no Salah.
plus Son, I've said this many times about Son. I think he's a quality player, but Son can go score a lot of goals up to December, then you don't see him anymore.
Yeah, he's a purple patch player, effectively.
Big up Seamus with the super. Much love, thanks. Thank you very much. Don't you think Richard Hughes will be making those decisions about players once he's in place? I think Edwards will be working for FSG on board level for the company. I believe you're correct there. He's going to be working with FSG, but I think he's also in charge of Liverpool.
Yeah,
he's doing the Mike Gordon role. He's literally the CEO. He will be in charge of the day-to-day running Liverpool Football Club. So he is employing Richard Hughes, and together they will look for the new manager. And no one is better in English football at data and analytics than Michael Edwards.
Yeah,
and he's going to put his program in charge. And Richard Hughes is really good with it as well. And I think they'll be working together.
What they cannot do is just rely on data. Don't look at the data and go, oh, because so-and-so's 30-odd years old, we've got to get rid of him. You need to use data, plus you need to use common sense.
I mean, I think the data. I don't think Michael Edwards ever had a problem with James Milner being at the football club, but he had a problem with Jordan Henderson being at the football club. So I think it's okay if you've got a certain quality about you that he can see in your age. But yeah, I think Michael Edwards gets it. That's what it is. He understands.
As long as it's just not like 100% data driven, just like that, and he's open to letting some of the older players sign new deals.
I'm with you on that. I think he sees the value. I think he sees the value in Virgil van Dijk staying. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, I'd hope so.
Big up the herdsman says, trust me, I'm not stalking you guys. I just love the content you guys create. Yeah, big up, man. We appreciate being
guys, I'm going to have to go now because I've work tomorrow. So I'm going to have to love you and leave you. Yeah, but make sure you guys cook about
I'll clip that with the segment for you.
Yeah, clip it up. Yeah, guys, everyone in the chat, make sure to like the video, subscribe as well, and I'll speak to you two tomorrow.
Big up,
right, man. Chat soon. See you later, man. The herdsman giving out 10 memberships as well. Go and get your memberships, guys. Beautiful man. Beautiful man. Thank you very much. We appreciate it, man. We appreciate that. Let's do Luis Diaz, man. This is what everyone's come for. Oh man. Look, before I start on this Luis Diaz thing, because people think I've got a vendetta, I've never ever been the biggest Luis Diaz fan. I think when he came in January, I was pumped about it because he was a good player for Porto. And I think that time between January and that quadruple season, I think that's the best we've ever seen Luis Diaz at Liverpool.
Yeah.
In my opinion. And football goes quite quickly. And I know he had a really bad injury, but that's quite a long time ago now. And I think he's done all right this season, but let's just go through his stats because we can't always look at everything on the stats. That has to be said, right? That has to be said. Now, stat-wise, we've been, Cody Gakpo has got 13 goals in all competitions in 42 games. Luis Diaz has played 39 games and he's got 11 goals, but he's been in 44 squads, the most out of all our attackers, by the way. No one's been in more squads this season than Luis Diaz, which is a benefit to him because of that bad injury. Yeah, that means he's been available, which is fantastic. Premier League wise, which we also really do have to look at because that is the bread and butter. Luis Diaz has started 22 games for Liverpool in the Premier League. That is more than any attacker in our squad. That's more than any attacker in our squad. So credit to him, he's available.
Yeah.
But he's only got 6 goals and 3 assists.
Mm.
Now, I know there's more than there is to being a GA man and be like Chris Angel in that.
Yeah.
Don't use a lot to talk.
I always do when when I'm streaming and I know Diaz might be a topic that comes up. I always
just to make sure.
Yeah.
Swallow that key just to make sure. But yeah, 6 goals and 3 assists in that time. He's made more appearances in the Premier League than any of our forwards. Obviously, stats ain't everything. I get that. But a forward in a Jurgen Klopp team is there to get goals or assists, ain't they? In a Jurgen Klopp team. That is mostly what we know our wingers to be. Now, everyone's talking about Cody Gakpo, and rightly so. His performances, I don't think, are anywhere near as good as Luis Diaz's performances. I will say that right now. But he's going to be 27 in the next season, I believe, Luis Diaz. And how much more are we going to get out of his game? Is this all... Is he got a bit of the Virgil about him where he's going for a year like Virgil did with a bad knee, and then next year he's going to do a Virgil and go back to the old self? Or are we seeing what Luis Diaz is now?
Oh, it's such a tough one, Jay. This is the one that really like makes my head spin, because I look at him and when he plays, I'm like, he's got everything you need to be a top winger.
I agree.
And you see in spurts, like what he did to Rodri and Walker. You watch him and you're like, if he can do that to Rodri and Walker, he can do that to anyone in the league. Let's be real, he can literally do that to anyone in the league. Who burns past Walker and then stands him up and then does him again and then manages to almost get across? No one does that to Walker. He did that. But for me, the biggest gripe I've got with Luis Diaz is his decision making. It's not it's his decision making why he's only on 6 goals and 3 assists, because he just doesn't make the right decisions often enough, and it's frustrating. But I look at him and I think he's an instinctual player who is not allowed to be instinctual in a Klopp team. And I get it. I understand why, because if you're an instinctual player, you'll either get a great game. There's not much consistency, and it's hard for the other forwards to know what he's going to do if he doesn't know what he's going to do himself. I think there should be more from him at this stage in his career. But at the same time, I look at him and it's so hard. I don't like comparing him to Mane, because I think sometimes we forget Mane did miss some mad chances as well. The thing that's saving Diaz at the moment is his work ethic and
it's up there. It's top tier.
His energy levels.
Yeah, it's top tier.
But at the same time, let's say his work ethic and energy levels are 100%. His output's only about 30 or 40%, and that for me is not good enough, because you can go and get most players who will give you 100% energy. It's all about cutthroat at this point if you're a Liverpool player, and I don't know if he's got that. And dare I say it, you could argue he's like gone backwards in that aspect since he actually first signed for Liverpool.
Now, where I look at Luis Diaz, I think the problem Diaz has partly got is the Sadio Mane factor a little bit, because Sadio, for me, was the best left winger in world football in his prime at Liverpool.
Absolutely.
I don't think anyone was touching him at that time. In them couple of seasons, he was untouchable. And when he leaves and Luis Diaz comes in as his replacement, eyes are immediately on that player. Luis Diaz is not as a good footballer as Sadio Mane, in my opinion. And that's not dismissing what Luis Diaz does. But also, they're different kind of profiles of footballers as well, because I think Luis Diaz is more of your old-fashioned winger
than
what Sadio Mane was. Sadio Mane was more of a inside forward, could play up top, as we saw at the end of his Liverpool career, playing through the middle. When I look at Luis Diaz, I think you could play Luis Diaz wide right in a 4-4-2.
Yeah.
And he'd be comfortable. I literally think that's the sort of play. He's like a Jack Grealish in a way. Like Jack Grealish's numbers are not great as a Premier League footballer, but his work rate is immense. His technical ability is extremely good. And I think Luis Diaz is the same. He's got very good technical ability. We saw that against City. Look what he did to, as you said,
Yeah.
Walker. And
Yeah.
and his durability, his energy levels, the amount of games he can play when he's fit, never looks tired. But then, like the City game, what he did in that game against City was great. The way he took Walker on, the way he was taking City on by himself at times. But he missed the biggest chances in the game.
Yeah.
And I would rather, it might be just me, I'd rather a winger that does what Mo does and just puts the ball in the back of the net than rather trying to take every player on in the City team and then mess up the end bit.
Yeah.
Does it sound cold? I don't know. You know what I mean? I just feel like how much more we going to get from Lewis? Is Luis Diaz a 7, 8, 12 goals in all competitions winger, 4 assists? Is that Luis Diaz? Is he going to get any better than that in his Liverpool career? I think that's how we have to look at it.
I don't know if he will, but I think if he was getting a load of assists or pre-assists, I don't think the goals would matter because you could turn around and go, well, he's a creative forward. In the same way, Bobby, when Bobby was at his best, he never had mad numbers. Apart from 17, 18, never had mad numbers. But you knew if you took Bobby out of that team, it just wasn't the same. Diaz isn't even giving you that at the moment. He's not giving you the pre-assists and he's not giving you the assists where you can go, well, you know what, then Jota, Nunez and Salah, they get the goals then and Gakpo gets the goals. He's just not, it's the numbers. He's got to improve the numbers and he's got to improve his finishing. There was times, I think it might have been the Everton game, for example, where we were on a break and all he's got to do is play a simple pass through and he screws up the pass. I see that often. I'm like, bro, you've got that in your locker. Like that's a bread and butter pass for you, and you're not even doing that. But again, I'm going to keep the same energy with Gakpo. I think he deserves a season under the new manager. So I wouldn't sell him unless he wants to leave or an offer that comes in is just like too good to be true. Like this whole 100 million thing, no one's giving us 100 million for Diaz. I'm just being real. If anyone does, then Edwards literally is holding people to ransom.
The thing is, Luis Diaz has got a high profile in football. You know, he has got a high profile.
Pound, no, bro.
I don't think he's got but I think you can get good money for him. I wouldn't be surprised you get 60 million for Luis Diaz.
No, 60, yeah, 60. I can imagine. 100
for Luis Diaz. Yeah, it might. Edwards even got 60, 70 million for him. That's great business.
And here's the thing: I would trust Liverpool to go out and get a very good left winger for that sort of money, or even if you got to add another 30, 40 million on.
It's just. I think I had this argument. I think he was on with me when I was having this argument a few months ago about what is Luis Diaz, what sort of winger is Luis Diaz, and it's very hard to compare him to all the other forwards in our team, in my opinion. Because if I look at Jota's played 11 games less, than Luis Diaz this season, but he's got 4 more goals.
Yeah,
but I can't compare the two.
Yeah,
I can't compare the two because Jota can play left,
and
but when he plays left wing, he's more of an inside forward, ain't he?
Yeah,
and he also can play through the middle. Can't compare him to Mo because Mo's just, you can't compare Mo to anyone, to be fair.
Yeah,
you can't compare him to Darwin because Darwin's got more pace about him. He's more agile. He's more athletic. He runs in behind. He can drift left. He can go play through the middle. You can't really compare him. So Luis Diaz is the one that I look at. Like, he is just a wide footballer. He's a wide man. He's a typical old-fashioned winger, in my opinion. So if we look at him as that, an old-fashioned kind of winger, then his stats ain't actually that bad.
Yeah, as an old style winger, but then does that work for us?
No, it don't work in a Klopp system because we know what Klopp forwards are meant to do. They defend from the front, they get goals and assists.
So I don't. It's such a tough one because here's the thing: you're looking at two forwards who effectively are playing on the same side in Diaz and Gakpo. For me, I wouldn't prioritize getting a left winger in the summer because I do think we need someone who can compete and deputize Mo more. But if you can, and again, if you can find a winger who can play both sides, maybe that helps. But I just, as frustrating as Diaz and Gakpo are, I would give them one more season. I think you've got to give them a season under the new manager. Plus, I will say making so many changes in one summer could be crazy. Because I still, as of right now, I do think we need 4 players. Like we're losing Thiago, we're losing Matip, we're losing Adrian. I think we need 4 players. I think we need 2 centre backs. I know it sounds wild because we've got Kwanzaa, but you look at the other teams, they have 4/5 centre backs. Maybe one of the defenders is a hybrid like a Gomez, but Gomez I want to be just a right back now alongside Bradley. So I'm looking to get 2 centre backs, and then you've got you got a centre back who could also deputize left back at a push as well. I still want a DM as much as I love Endo, as much as I love Basetic. I do want a DM who's like of the age of maybe 23 to 26 years old, and then a right winger to compete with Mo. So
yeah, I agree.
Having those 4 players, I think for me, are priority. If you're getting more than that, then you're getting into the realm where you're like, it's going to be hard to maybe gel all those players in, especially under a new manager, new philosophy, new tactics. It's going to be tough. So that's why I'm saying left back and left wing, even though it might be quite weak at the moment from what we're seeing from those players, I'd give them another season to see if they can turn things around.
Yeah,
but it also depends on which players leave as well.
Yeah, I agree, mate. Like Luis Diaz is just one of them players that I think is highly loved and it's hard to criticise. It's a bit like Darwin at times. I think they land in the same bracket sometimes.
I don't think he's as loved as Darwin. I don't think anyone in the squad's loved more than Darwin.
Do you know what it is? Darwin, it's because Darwin, I think why everyone loves Darwin is because he doesn't stop. He doesn't hide.
I think it's that. I think it's also the fact he came in at such a high price point as well that Liverpool fans, we almost need this to work because we know we don't typically spend that sort of money on a striker.
I almost think Darwin's worth his price point, to be fair, if we look at today's football.
I don't think he's proven his price yet, but I think this time next season, I think he would have.
Yeah, exactly. This is the thing with transfers as well. The price covers their contract the time they're at Liverpool, the time they're at a club, not in their first season. You know what I mean? You go through the years of their contract and Mo only cost 35 million.
He paid that in a month, let's be real.
Yeah, exactly. Virgil cost 75 million. Everyone said it was a mistake, and now you look at it like the bargain of the century. So yeah, it's interesting. I keep saying about Diaz, I think he's an excellent technician who plays for the club. He's got a lot of energy, a lot of spirit, a lot of go about him, never gives up. But it's just that end product. Do you know the thing that frustrates me the most about Luis Diaz actually is his passing.
Yes, same.
I actually think Darwin's a better passer.
Yeah, he's showing it at the moment.
Diaz recently, and that's the thing that bugs me because if he is a left winger and that's what he's going to play, he's like that old school left winger. His passing needs to be a little bit more pinpoint for me.
Way more crisp. Yeah.
I do understand the love for him though. Big up Game Deep Super. He says, give Diaz a run of games on the right wing and Jota centre forward and Nunez left, especially when Salah's out/rested. Out and out winger crosses into box. You mean play wingers?
I'm not actually against Nunez being a left winger, but if that is to happen, then we need to reassess what we need up top. Then, unless it's going to be Gakpo who's the backup to Jota, and then Nunez and Diaz competing for left wing I mean, if you're going to shift it around that way, we could potentially do it. But
yeah, I mean, I think with Darwin and Jota, here's my thing though. When Darwin and Jota play, they swap left and central quite a lot anyway, because they're quite fluid with that.
Yeah,
And that's what I like about when them two play. When Luis Diaz plays, Darwin's more centralized. But when Jota plays, I think there's more fluency to Darwin's game.
Yeah,
because he can drift to the left, Jota comfortable drifting into the middle, and defenders find it hard to pick him up then. And then you got like sometimes you'll have a counter attack on where if you look at a counter attack in transition, sometimes when Luis Diaz has got the ball compared to when Darwin's got the ball on the left hand side, it's sometimes a bit more night and day because Darwin for me is a better passer of the ball.
Yeah, and he's more. I'd say he's very direct. Darwin's very direct. He doesn't look pretty, but he's very direct.
Extremely direct. Extreme. But Liverpool are very direct.
Yeah.
So it plays into his hands, really. I mean, Darwin always got one of the balls of the season if Mo scored that volley as well.
Oh,
United. That ball was imperfect, and then that volley was imperfect. That would have been one of the goals of the season, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
But Jota's a superb finisher. You can't. Liverpool are lucky. Do you know what? It's mad that we complain about it because not a lot of clubs have got forwards that are all in double figures.
Yeah.
Every single forward is in double figures this season.
Yeah.
So it's hard. It's hard for us.
I've got a shout to Drifty. I've actually got a shout out to Drifty because he said every single one of our forwards will be in double figures this season. He's been spot on about it.
Yeah, man, definitely, and they've all got the ability to be. We got Seamus says, "When do you think we'll know the next manager?"
Not until the end of the season.
I think the club already know.
Unless
very quiet lately.
If Leverkusen get knocked out of Europa and they secure the league, we will know before the end of the season, I think. If Leverkusen is still in Europa, we won't. Which makes me feel as though it will be Alonso. I do feel it will be Alonso now.
What makes me think that it might already be done is because it's gone so quiet.
Yeah.
So much talk recently, and it's gone quite quickly. And with the Michael Edwards chat, I mean, we've got to remember Michael Edwards flew out of Boston for the interview and discussion. Yeah. They got Richard Hughes in straight away. They must have some clue. Michael Edwards will know who they're looking at for a manager to make sure he's got the right sporting director and the right people they go for. So it's very interesting. It's very interesting. Have you guys already had the Gakpo conversation? Yeah, it was the first one we spoke about, Diaz. So go back to the beginning of the show, my friend. That's the first one we did.
Sorry to cut you on that. What I will say, what I don't like is some of the abuse Gakpo's received. And I know it's a small minority, and I think sometimes we dwell on it. And I know I'm speaking about it, so I'm giving those trolls a little bit of airtime, but I don't like that. And what I will say is Gakpo doesn't get half as much love as Darwin Nunez, for example. But let's not act like Darwin's perfect either. And I'm not even trying to say that to throw Darwin under the bus. I just want to keep the same energy. Like there's got to be some sort of like level thinking here. And you might not rate Gakpo, but to go out your way to just put him down, I think is a bit much. Personally,
criticize every fan's allowed to criticize his performances.
Yeah,
but keep it to that. When you get personal, that means you ain't intelligent enough to criticize his performances.
Yeah.
In my opinion, anytime anyone gets personal, big up Jay Yatsby's in the house. It's 1:10 in the morning, man. We are going down low. Yeah, guys, look, it was just a nice little video. I know some of you like me doing these midnight shows, so I thought, video I could do. Talking about the forwards, having a little chat about that. We got international duty up now, guys. So I might be just having a few days break now with the family. And but make sure you hit the notification bell, guys, so you know when we go live. Before we go, MUSK's got one question here. Last day of the season, we got a pen in the last minute to win the title. Who are you picking?
McAllister. It's not even close. It's McAllister.
Yeah, McAllister.
But I don't think I think Salah would take the penalty, but it's McAllister.
Oh, no, I'm walking. Right, If it's the last minute against Wolves, and if Liverpool score that penalty, they win the Premier League, and Mo steps up, I'm walking out the house. I ain't watching it.
The nerves would be crazy, but
No,
it's
I ain't
got to be
watching it 'cause
McAllister.
Mo would just thump it.
Yeah,
He would just thump it, where McAllister would place it.
yeah. McAllister's slotting that top corner, whichever side he wants.
McAllister's cold like Milner used to be. That's
Yeah,
what
he might even be colder than Milner.
Yeah. McAllister's different class, man. I'll tell you what, I actually wouldn't want to be the penalty taker.
I think Mac, when it comes to that stuff, I actually think Mac's got ice in his veins. If he's not McAllister, I'm going to Bosla. I would have gone to Bosla if he's. I need to see what his form's like, actually. If that were to happen. Yeah, I need to see what his form's like. But I have
if
to
it weren't McAllister, I'm going Virgil.
I'm trying to think. If it's not McAllister,
I reckon Virgil buries it.
Honestly,
no, fuck it. I'm going Joe Gomez.
I'm going Trent if it's not McAllister.
Yeah, Trent all day long.
If Szoboszlai's out of form, if Szoboszlai's out of form, I'm going Trent. If Szoboszlai's in form, then I'm going Szoboszlai as my second penalty taker. Trent and then Salah.
I'm still saying, I keep to this though. Joe Gomez is getting the goal that wins us the Premier League. I'm going to keep saying it.
I wish I could say that.
He's got to take shorts off, shirt off, in his pants, running that clock, massive bear hug. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be beautiful.
That'd be a dream, man.
I'd love it, man. I'd love it. Couple of supers before we go. Big Andrew says, Diaz with 6 assists. Is that really good enough? Nunez gets hate after one mistake against United. I mean, the thing is, where he's not wrong on there is that, it's I think at the moment, as fans, we have got a good love and hate relationship with a few players.
Yeah.
And a lot of players have got a big fan base.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't blame people for liking and hating. It's up to people. I try and look at it quite neutral and try and break it down. But people, I get it. I do get it. We got Ty says the difference with Gakpo is that if he doesn't score, he's just completely missing. I agree. And Darwin can miss chances but still affect the game positively.
Facts.
Absolutely agree.
Yeah.
The game the other day, some of the goals we scored came from Darwin's play.
Yeah.
I'd say one thing that Darwin don't get credit for, which he should do, is he's running off the ball.
It's one of the best.
He's running off the ball. He's actually elite.
Yeah.
The space he makes.
I wouldn't say
sometimes
elite,
he's running off the ball. He never gets found.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
That's the only thing I would say is the offsides that stop him from being elite. But at the same time, that's not always his fault. Sometimes that is the person with the ball's fault as well because they're not playing it quick enough
to deliver it.
Yeah.
Well, if IFAB go off with this new offside rule, we've seen it.
I hope that doesn't happen.
So you can be half. You could, as long as you're not fully clear of a defender, you're onside. Darwin's getting 40 a season.
Yeah, easily.
Because all you tell Darwin to do is just stay level with the centre back.
Yeah,
he's got to take a whole full body length to make you offside.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Stay level with the centre back. Haaland and Darwin and these players will just eat.
Yeah, for fun.
It can't happen. You'll get 9-0 games.
Yeah.
And what are defenders meant to do? I bet Virgil's still world class here, by the way.
Yeah. Probably will be.
By the way, Virgil van Dijk is some people's favourites now. We're player of the year.
I should bloody hope so.
I think people are starting to realise that he's the best player.
About bloody time, man.
I'm going to keep saying it. I don't think we'll be top of the Premier League if Virgil weren't playing all season.
No, of course he wouldn't.
And I think the proof's in the pudding now that Virgil is our most important player, not Alisson Becker.
Yeah.
I think Virgil is our most important player. But guys, look, we're going to leave it there. It is late. I'm shattered. Thank you very much for joining me, guys. I do appreciate it. Guys, let me know if you did get the notification up on live, because I saw Terry put up his thing today, the football terrorist. I don't know if you saw that, Cal.
No.
That he's had a lot of problems with YouTube, blocking his content and stuff like that.
Well.
And like he had videos that were live the other day and there was no comments up, no like button.
Yeah, I found
or
with
anything like
YouTube, like, you know, say for example, you search Coppish, like you'd see it usually in like order of like the newest video, and that's not happening. So I'm guessing their YouTube are going through some change at the moment.
I think YouTube, I'm going to tell you this right now. I think YouTube support since the celebrities have started doing podcasts.
Yeah,
That's who they push.
Yeah,
because they want celebrities
on their
You
platform.
know, that's the easiest. They want them to, so they push celebrities massively.
Yeah,
Now, if you're a celebrity and you make a YouTube channel, you can get 1 million subscribers in a month,
yeah, easily.
and they
Yeah,
push you out everywhere. They should equal it out same, no matter if you're a celebrity, me, Coppish, whoever
yeah,
it is. Everyone should have an
should
equal
be
chance of
equal.
making
Yeah.
success on this platform, in my opinion.
Facts.
But yeah, YouTube are moving like Clear Lake. On that note, guys, we're out of here. Big up, guys. See you soon. Thank you very much.
Big up.